Are you planning to move or have recently changed your address in Alabama? Don't let an outdated driver's license become a headache. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're breaking down the exact, up-to-date process for changing your Alabama driver's license address online. You know, if you've ever tried to navigate state websites, it can feel like a total maze. But we're using the latest data to make this crystal clear and honestly, super easy.
Okay, let's dive right into this. We all know moving is stressful enough as it is. But having an incorrect address on your license? Man, that can lead to missed mail, really frustrating issues with law enforcement, or even trouble at the voting booth. It's just not worth the hassle.
Now, the reason we're talking about this today boils down to one very specific number, 30. That's because Alabama law actually mandates that you have exactly 30 days, no more, to update your physical address with the driver license division after you move. Miss that window? Well, you're looking at potential administrative delays or even legal penalties if you happen to get pulled over with an inaccurate credential. So here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at why you need to update, then we'll check out the Leeds Online portal. After that, we'll walk through a step-by-step guide, look at a real-life example, cover some FAQs and common pitfalls, and finally wrap things up in the conclusion.
All right, sections 1 and 2. Moving past the confusion and discovering the new LED's cloud-based system. So there is actually a lot of bad information floating around out there. A ton of third-party sites wrongly claim you absolutely cannot change your address online. And you know, that's because before April 2022, the state used this really archaic legacy system that required you to show up in person. But that's all changed now with the launch of Leeds. It's this centralized, cloud-integrated network that finally allows for instant, self-service updates online. So yeah, no more taking a half day off work just to sit at the DMV. Moving on to Section 3, our step-by-step online guide. We'll cover what you need and exactly what to click. Before you even open your laptop, you've got to make sure you have your digital toolkit ready to go. To pass the system's security checks, you'll need your current license number, your full legal name, and that's exactly as it appears on your current card, your birth date, and the last 4 digits of your social security number. Oh, and crucially, you need a valid USPS-recognized residential address. Seriously, no P.O. boxes are allowed for the primary field, so keep that in mind. All right, once you're ready, here's the digital workflow. First, head over to alabamadl.ale.gov and click Change My Address. Next up, input those identity details we literally just talked about. The system's going to then ask for your new address, and it'll actually validate it right there against the Postal Service's database. Finally, and honestly, this is a pretty great feature. You can choose to just update the database for completely free, or you can pay to have a brand new physical card mailed right to your house.
Actually, I need to stop right here for a very urgent warning from ALEA Secretary Hal Taylor. You've got to be extremely careful about copycat websites. There are sites out there that look super official but will hit you with massive administrative fees, sometimes $50 or more, and that's on top of the agency's actual $39 renewal fee. Always make sure you are on the official.gov site to avoid getting scammed.
Let's move to Section 4, a real-life example, mapping out the user journey.
So let's see how this builds in the real world. Imagine our user, let's call him Alex, moves into a new place on day 1. Around day 15, Alex spends maybe 10 minutes on the Leeds portal. He decides to order a duplicate card, pays the fee, and instantly prints a 30-day temporary paper license right from his computer. And yes, that piece of paper is 100% legally valid for driving. Then, just 10 days later on day 25, his permanent plastic card arrives securely in the mail. Total time spent waiting in line at a government office? Exactly 0 minutes.
Next up is Section 5, Frequently Asked Questions, where we'll anticipate friction and avoid some common mistakes.
Now, what's really interesting here is how the costs break down. A lot of folks don't realize that simply updating the law enforcement database is literally free. If an officer pulls you over, they'll see the new address right on their screen. But if you want that new address actually printed on the plastic card in your wallet, you're going to pay $31.25 for a duplicate. Or, hey, if you're already nearing your expiration date anyway, you might as well just do a full standard renewal for $39.
Now here is a rule that catches people off guard all the time, the 8-year digital renewal rule. Basically, Alabama requires a visual identity check every so often. What that means is, if you use the online system for your very last renewal or duplicate, you are legally required to go in person this time around. The portal will actually block your transaction if you've used the digital shortcut too recently. It might be a little annoying, but it's all about maintaining the strict security of your identity.
And guys, this next point is probably the most common mistake we see. Updating your driver's license with Aelia is fantastic, and it even gives you a neat little option to automatically update your voter registration at the same time. However, and this is a big however, it does not update your vehicle registration or your tags. Those are completely separate. They're handled by the Department of Revenue and your local county tag office. So you still have to contact your county tag office within 30 days of moving, otherwise you might end up with the wrong tax assessment or even an expired tag. Nobody wants that. Finally, we arrive at Section 6, Key Takeaways and Conclusion, wrapping up your digital move.
Let's quickly distill all this into the most essential facts you need to remember. First, you have exactly 30 days to act after you move. Second, use only the official alabamadl.ala.gov site so you avoid those scammy third parties. Third, figure out if you just need the free database update or the $31.25 physical card. Also, keep in mind that special transactions like transferring from out of state or getting your first ever Star ID, those still require a trip to the examiner's office. And lastly, treat your vehicle tags as a totally separate but equally important to-do list item.
So, the crucial point here is that while we've used the absolute most current data available for this explainer, state bureaucratic processes can and do change. Fees might get adjusted by the legislature, or the portal might get a shiny new interface, so always do a quick final check on the official alia.gov website before you submit any payments, just to ensure you have the latest info.
The LEAD system really is a massive step forward for Alabama. And it kind of makes me wonder, as these state databases become even more interconnected, what other aspects of your daily life could be instantly streamlined by a single digital update? I mean, could we eventually see a world where one click handles your license, your property taxes, and your utilities all at once? It's definitely an interesting thought to leave you with. Thanks so much for joining us for this explainer. Now go get that address updated.